Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. We're having a great day. Today, welcome back to the office. Currently, it's 102 degrees outside still. I don't know what's going on over here with the weather in Southern California. Massive heat wave hitting everywhere. But today in the news, well, I'm pretty sure you have seen it. The Dow is down. It's crazy what we're seeing over the horizon, and everyone's talking about a possible recession. Today, I really want to give you guys more of a business-focused video for this podcast, studio video, because there's a lot we need to think about if we're going to go out there and buy, let's say, a $100,000 Corvette or a $200,000 Corvette. We live in an era right now where everything is costing more and more money. You go out to buy groceries, you go out to buy gasoline, everything is more expensive. Not only that, the cost of living, especially here in Southern California, almost everywhere you go, home prices are $1 million, if not more. What I'm getting at here is that the market is very challenging, very steep right now for people who are working 9 to 5 every single day and trying to afford not only enough money for their lifestyle, but also their family. Therefore, when you see all these new cars coming out with increased price tags, it really does beg the question, is this really sustainable? I know when the Corvette Z06 came out, that was a $110,000 starting price Corvette. I never thought we'd really see the day of a Z06 starting that high with a standard MSRP, but that's what we saw. And the Z06s were holding really, really high value, and dealerships were marking them up quite drastically. I know that markups were like from $40,000, $50,000 to $60,000 to even $100,000 I saw all over, the country. Nowadays, you can buy a Corvette Z06 for pretty close to MSRP for window sticker. Therefore, I don't know if even that price range is going to hold out long when you have more and more of a supply for vehicles at such a high price tag. There's got to be a point where demand starts to diminish because of the cost of living getting so high. The question I want to ask you guys in this video is now really the time to consider buying a $250,000 Chevrolet Corvette, or are times changing? We're seeing this affect people all over the board, even with businesses. If a recession is coming in over the horizon, I don't know how sustainable it is for Chevrolet and these brands to keep maximizing making such expensive cars. I know when I look back 6 years ago, I would have never thought I would buy a truck that cost $112,000. My Ford Raptor R was either $112,000 or $113,000, and with California sales fees, it was $120,000, $121,000 for an F-150 Raptor R. Can you believe that? I would have never thought buying a Ford Raptor R would be $20,000 more expensive than buying my carbon fiber Shelby GT500 track pack in 2020. We're just talking about a matter of a few years, 3 years. It went from a $106,000 Mustang purchase I made to a $120,000+ pickup truck purchase. That gives you an example of how even items you wouldn't expect to cost 6 figures are costing 6 figures. F-150 Raptor R is based off an F-150, yet it's a 6-figure pickup truck. Don't get me wrong, I love the truck. I put down, I think, over 7,000 miles on that truck. So don't get me wrong, you guys have seen the off-road adventures from getting the vehicle and going across the country, going to off-road events, everywhere. It's a fantastic truck. Is it really worth $110,000, $120,000? Is it really? I am looking at the Ford Ranger Raptor. It's a $55,000 mid-size, smaller pickup truck. You can buy 2 of those for the price of one Ford Raptor R. It's got 300 horsepower less. Yeah, 300 less that's a lot less power, but is it worth $50,000 to $60,000 more to get the Raptor R? Those are questions that we need to really think about moving forward. With this new Corvette ZR1 over the horizon, having 400 more horsepower more than the Corvette Z06, in this market with Z06s flatlining close to MSRP, having a more expensive MSRP Corvette ZR1, which is likely to be built for a few years if they can, how sustainable is that? And where people going to start rethinking their financial investments, where they have their money placed. Are they going to continue going down this route of high spending? Please let me know. I know many of you are really involved in the stock market and the financial sector right now. Cost is way up. People are spending money in all sorts of ways. I feel kind of stupid saying that. I just got the 750S. That was not cheap, okay? That was not cheap. Is the time to get out of these high expensive vehicles now? I don't know. I believe with some of these vehicles, when they're sought after, the stock market, recessions, all these different external factors don't really have a direct impact on them. We're talking about Carrera GTs. We're talking about collector's edition vehicles or one-off, very high dollar vehicles. I don't think a lot of these cars will be affected that are more in the supercar range. But vehicles that are kind of getting into the supercar sector, like entry-level supercars, or just high MSRP luxury vehicles like a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon or a GLC, any of those types of cars, all the way to BMW M-Series SUVs, I just feel like luxury vehicles have such a high depreciation rate when they're not differentiated and unique. This doesn't really apply to one-off supercars, okay? You're not going to face what you're going to face with buying a new BMW or a new AMG Mercedes-Benz SUV. You're not really going to see the same level of depreciation here. You get people who want to get their dream cars or who are working their way up. They're not quite in the supercar tier yet. They're trying to buy a nicer vehicle or one for their family, and they get into it. Then next thing you know, the market starts going down. They realize I should have bought a vehicle that is limited or more rare or has more demand. Finally, in the end of the day, you're upside down with a car loan. You can't sell it because you got to pay money to sell it. You're just screwed. And it's a really big problem that we find in America all over the spectrum with people getting upside down in things that they pay money in. This is why I really respect small business owners, because small business owners have such high levels of risks they have to deal with when they come to start their own company. When you start getting upside down with assets unintentionally, that's when bad things can happen. I have friends of mine who are severely upside down right now in Tesla Model S Plaids. I'm talking $40,000 or more upside down. I have so many examples I can go over with electric cars. Electric cars right now all over the spectrum. People are buying into them and they're finding it hard to sell and they're losing tens of thousands of dollars. If I drive next to any of the local dealers, even like with GMC, they have at least 13 or 14 Hummer EVs just sitting there, and they've been sitting there for months. They're not selling them, or they might be selling them, but they're getting newer ones in right away. I don't know. It's getting me curious and wondering, how can all these high dollar vehicles, Hummer EVs, cost over $100,000? They're not selling them. What is going to happen with the market? Is this a point of concern? I really want to know your guys' thoughts. Chevrolet making this $200,000 Corvette. I'm thinking it's going to be $200,000. If we look at ZR1 adding 3 to 4 more horsepower, come on, it's got to at least cost $30,000 more than what I paid for my Z06. We're talking equally equipped here, right? I would guess a maxed out ZR1 would be $230,000. Maybe a bit more. I'd say $230,000, because you can buy a maxed out convertible Z06, literally MSRP wise, close to $200,000 now. They're getting more expensive. The price has definitely become more expensive than when I bought mine. If every year we're seeing prices go up because they say supply chain constraints and management issues causing them to increase the price that the consumer pays because the raw material costs went up, all these different directions price increases come from, they all get pivoted directly at you, the consumer. How much more can us consumers take? Please, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really does help me out. And subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. While you do that, hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all the new videos coming out. I'll see you in the next episode.